ones, thinking this is the one that's going to be yours forever, only to find out that that one was just investigating. Then you find out the same person has got so many other investigations. So you get hurt. That hurt, it scars you. And you compound that on a constant basis. What happens, you start doing the same to everyone else. They say abusers were usually abused. When you get a piece of it, when you get a little taste of it, you start giving to others. Because that's how you mitigate. This is how you alleviate that burden. You know, when you have pain, when somebody abused you, studies have been done that the only way people find to get rid of that pain is to abuse others. Because now they have to continue. Notice the cyclical poisons that come in society. So as a result, what we find is that when people are scarred and they're ready to settle down, their bellies are starting to now extend, so they're no longer as marketable. And they figure, okay, the hair is showing white now, it's falling off, it's time to settle down. And the girl is saying the same thing, I had my pleasures. And now, to find the right person is virtually impossible. Because the minute you find that person, you're taking all your baggage and all the scars that you got now, and you're throwing it on this opposite gender. And most marriages don't last as a result. The trust factors are so low. Why? Because the preceding history was so mutilated, there's nothing left. So when Islam is, and all the moral religions that promote abstinence, purity, keeping away from this kind of misbehavior, whereas the Western concept, and now it's of course, unfortunately, it's pervasive even in the Eastern world, that it's okay, you go and play around, how would you know? Don't do that. This area, we cannot use ourselves as guinea pigs. This is a very personal, very sacred area. You mess with this part, it's irreconcilable. It's a scar that's permanent, that will always hinder your progress. Always. It'll come back. So, wisdom dictates prevention is better than cure. And if you do it on good moral grounds, even when you get abused at that level, at least you can exonerate yourself in saying, my intention was good. I didn't just mess around. I was looking for a good pathway, and I will now heal myself better. So that's why hijab is so important. Hijab is on a woman because she's the bearer of children. If men were the bearers of children, I can pretty much say that men would be probably wearing hijab. So that's why Islam has prescribed hijab. Allah says, يا أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن. You see? Say, O Messenger, to your wives, to your daughters, you see, and to the women of Islam, بناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن. Tell them to don this upon them. Why? So that فلا for what reason? أن يعرفن فلا يؤذين. So that they are recognized and they are not bothered. Meaning hijab is a flag of recognition. Hijab is not designed to make you disappear in society. It's designed to make you conspicuously appear. From what stand? From a moral stand. Islam has spread, in my opinion, because of women. Karbala is an excellent example. Imam Hussein a.s. took women and children precisely for this reason. If the women and children were not there, who would have spread this message? How did they spread this message? It was their hijab. Rabab, the wife of Imam Hussein, was a Christian girl. You know that? Her father was a Christian man, Amr Khais. He meets Imam Ali a.s. in the early stages, and he becomes a believer. He does his shahada to Imam Ali a.s. And then he gives his daughters to Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. One of them was Rabab, the one who was the mother of Abdullah, the youngest son who was martyred in Karbala, and Ruqayya, known as Sakina. This is a woman who sacrificed her two beloved children on the battles of Karbala. This woman was so bold, was such an intrepid woman. She sat in Karbala in a tent after her husband's departure. She came back from Damascus and pitched a tent in Karbala and stayed there waiting for caravans to come. And when a caravan would pass, she would wave at them and says, come. They would come and then she would describe the whole event. You find in Medina, Who was spreading the word? The mother of Abbas, Umm al-Baneen. She used to come out of the house with the orphans of Abbas. She would stand at Jannatul Baqi and she would call the people. Even Marwan ibn Hakam, a wretched man, even he started having tears in his eyes when he heard the heart-wrenching story of a mother speaking about her sons who were martyred in Karbala while she's holding these little orphans on the front lines and saying, look what they have done to us. And she would mention the Prophet constantly. Mention the Prophet. Mention the Prophet. You notice who's doing the revolution? The women. This hijab is the flag of God. You know why they're against hijab? For this reason. I say to the brothers and the sisters, let's not be fooled into thinking that we need to abandon our positions when it comes to this. No way. No way. In this world, a human being can walk half naked. In Europe, there are laws you can walk naked on the streets. You can color your hair to glow in the dark. You can stick pins and carve all kinds of pictures on your faces. You can put neon lights if you want. Even make noise while you wear it. No one has a problem with it. You cover yourself with the hijab, we've got a problem with it. What is this? Oppression. What oppression? Is the Virgin Mary oppressed? A Jewish man asked me once, I was a very nice guy, I went to the temple to speak in a Jewish temple. Our sisters were wearing hijab. We came in this temple, and he says, what is this your women are wearing? This. What's this they're wearing? So I didn't get into an argument with him. I saw the guy's a nice guy. He's misinformed. I don't blame him. I smiled at him and says, you didn't see the movie Moses? Yeah. He says, yeah, I'm a Jew. I said, did you ask the same question when you saw the mother of Moses wearing them? Did you watch the movie Jesus? He said, yeah. He said, did you ask the same question when you saw the Virgin Mary wearing that? Every time you pass by a Catholic's home and you see the statue of the Virgin Mary dressed this way, you say, what is this? He was leaning this way. Allah is my witness. He was leaning this way when he's asking. He leaned this way. You're right. Then he said to me in the end, he says, can I hug you? Because you're my brother. I said, yes, we are brothers. We hugged each other. Such a beautiful person. But misinformation, disinformation. What is it? It's the flag. And I say to him in a nice way, I says, you know, your forefathers wore this. Just like us. Christians, Jews, Muslims, we're Abrahamic. This injunction has been placed upon us time immemorial. The difference is, unfortunately, you've abandoned this position. We have kept it. So I would advise you to join us. And he smiled and he looked at me and said, I want to come to your Islamic Center, I want to talk to you. My point I'm saying is that this is the argument. It's a flag of Islam. It's dignified. I asked once a Christian lady, she says, you know, your women dress like this. Is the Virgin Mary wears like this? She says, yeah. I said, can you ever have a statue of her without it? She says, blasphemous. I said, I rest my case. When you ask our women not to wear it, to me it's blasphemous. Understand, it's a point of dignity. It's honor. It's a flag. That's why people are afraid. Whenever I travel around the world, I gauge the Muslim population based on how many muhajireen I see in public. You walk on the streets, you see how many ladies with hijab are walking. You say, okay, Muslims are here. Muslims are everywhere, trust me. But the point is that it's such a consolation for me as a man, seeing a woman wearing hijab, because she's telling me, hey, Hassanian, be moral, be modest. My flag is telling you that. I remember, I distinctly, I'll never forget, I got off a plane in Washington, D.C., I was going to go speak. I got off the plane, there was a Somalian lady selling stuff at the airport, and she was wearing the hijab. And I walked by, and I looked at it, I smiled, and the first thought that came to me was, she's telling me, hey, be modest. And I had a smile. All the way, I got into the car, I was just smiling, subhanAllah. Wow, she didn't even talk to me. But her flag did. So hijab is very powerful, very important. I can talk about it till I turn blue, but I cannot. And sometimes for us to know why hijab is important, ask the enemy. If the enemy is disturbed by it, there must be something good. You know, with due respect to atheists, when an atheist gets angry when I pray, you know, we had the debate and the atheist came and said, you are disturbing me. So why? You are praying. I said, I didn't ask you to pray. I'm praying. What's your problem? He says, yeah, but you know, you should not be praying. I said, you are a product of an accident according to you.
You have no purpose in life. You took the time to come and tell me this? Then I